€1.47. Well, let's get an early look at what to expect at the Open on our market. We're joined now by Cameron Peacock from IG in Melbourne. Cameron, good to see you there. What's the opening call for the Aussie share market from IG today?
Yeah, good morning, Bridie. Look, we're looking at a fairly solid open for the local market, looking for it to open north of 4,400. We're currently calling it up about 21 points or 0.5% around that 44.08 level. As you touched upon on the open, the FTSE, the DAX and the CAC all had relatively good sessions. They were up between 1.4 and 2.4%, with fears easing over a downgrade to Spain's credit rating by Moody's. They had suggested that a downgrade was on the cards, but they have come out overnight and said that the recapitalisation process, which is about to take place, is going to be credit positive for the country. So those fears subsided a little bit overnight. We also had European manufacturing PMIs still in contractionary territory last night, but certainly showing some signs of stabilisation. Across the pond in the US, we had a relatively strong session there. We had the Dow Jones finishing up 77 points, or about 0.6%. The S&P up 0.3%. The Nasdaq down 0.1%. Stocks did finish well off their highs. At one stage we had the Dow Jones up about 1.2%, similar with the S&P, and that was because right at the start of the session we had the US manufacturing PMI print come out, much stronger than expected at 51.5. It was above the 49.6 of August and above the 49.7 consensus estimate. It was the first time that reading's been above 50 since May. There was, though, a lot of scepticism about that number, particularly given Friday's Chicago PMI was a very large miss, so that was part of the reason why stocks did pair that initial rally. But looking at a fairly strong start for our market today, as I said, above 4,400. We should see fairly broad-based gains for the market on the open. I think we saw last night the US dollar was a little bit weaker. We had a very strong night for base metals. All of those copper, aluminium, zinc, nickel, all up between sort of 1.4 and 2.6%. We've got BHP's ADR called up about 0.5% at 33.32. So I think the major miners will put some serious points into the market today on the open. Similarly with the energy names, we did see crude prices rising about 0.9%. So I'd be watching for some of those energy names to do well on the open as well.
Sounds good, Cam. Just also wanted to ask you, of course, the focus this afternoon is going to be on the RBA decision there. What do you think? I think money markets are pricing with about 66% chance that there will be a cut. What's the IG call?
Yeah, look, we don't have a house call, but I think, my personal view is it's going to be fairly line ball. There was a particular statement in the statement of the 4th of September where they said that growth was, tracking close to trend, but it was being led by very large increases in capital spending in the resources sector. And at the time, I thought that was a little bit outdated. I think it certainly is now. In the last probably 6 weeks, we've seen, BHP delay or defer its Olympic Dam expansion. We've seen numerous companies pare back their investment spending plans due to lower commodity prices and also the more subdued outlook for some of our major trading partners. So I think that's something that the RBA might address in this coming statement. But like I said, I think it's a 50-50 decision today. We've got 3 meetings left for the end of the year. There's a lot of people expecting at least 1 rate cut this year, some people 2. So if we don't get a rate cut today, I certainly think we're probably likely to get 1 in either November or December. But they may take the decision. This is the RBA I'm speaking of. They may take the decision, that the wait and see approach, wanting to wait and see how the QE processes which have been initiated in Europe and the US play out over the next 4 to 6 weeks before deciding whether to move in November or December. But today's going to be a line ball call, I think.
Cameron, always great to get your thoughts. Thank you.
Thanks, Bridie.